Welcome back to my top 100 games countdown. Today we're doing 50 down to 41. And number 50 on my list is a worker placement game that is absolutely really great and I love it. And it is Stone Age. Now I've not done this on my channel yet, but I plan to. Of course I plan to do many things on my channel. And this is just beautiful. The artwork in this game is incredible. And it's basically a victory point game. Trying to get as many victory points as you can. You get your own little player board. And it tells you the cost of everything and how many the multipliers for your units and things. Really, really cool. The board is beautiful. And the idea is you're basically on your turn, you're going out and you're placing your workers out to try and say collect clay or iron, and there's only so many spots on the board. You have only so many workers. The idea is you're trying to get your resources to build things like huts and stuff. So for this one would be worth like 14 victory points, cost 2 clay and a gold to build it, and at the end of the game you get 14 victory points. And then there's card collection in the game as well. If I can dig down and grab all the cards. And there's, so just an example of one of the cards. What is going on here? Oh no! Alright. So this one here, the card would cost you like 3, it would give you 3 wood. And it gives you multipliers, 3 times your multiplier for huts. Things like that. Really, really cool game. The victory point tokens. The resources are really nice. You even get a leather cup for shaking the dice. The dice are nice little wooden ones. Really, really fun worker placement game. That's my number 50 on my list, my countdown, and that is Stone Age. Alright, making its way to number 49 on my list, counting all the way down up to 1, and that will be another deck builder, and that is Clank, a deck building adventure. This is basically you're going into a dungeon against other competitors, and you're trying to steal the treasures from the dragon, of course, and he's trying to eliminate you. And so basically you have this kind of cool little map, you got your health tracker, and you're going into different locations. You have to fight monsters through certain passages. There are artifacts you're trying to grab, and yes, there are a mountain of cards, and you can fight things like cave trolls, orc grunts, belchers, and then you can recruit different things to your aid like wizards, bracers of agility, etc., etc. Wow, it is just huge. And the whole idea is you're trying to get the most points without being knocked out completely. And you have the dragon bag where you pull tokens out. So the idea is you're going through this dungeon, you're making noise, everyone gets their little meeple, and they're different colors. You're trying to get as many victory points as possible without being eliminated, knocked out. And if you can go in, steal an artifact, get out of the dungeon, and get the most victory points, you're going to win. So that's my number 49 game on my list, and that would be Clank. Getting to number 48 on my list. No, it's not a deck builder. It's a hidden movement game. It's a lot of fun, and it is Fury of Dracula. This is actually so cool. This is the only version I played. I've not played the, I think this might even be the third or second edition, I'm not sure. Very, very cool. Basically, hidden movement. One player, it's one versus all. One player is playing Dracula. Again, they've got some really, really nice miniatures in the game, if you're into that kind of thing. Cards are beautiful, lots of nice artwork. So you got things like rifles. And you have, of course, Dracula has his abilities. And then you've got Mina Marker, John Stewart, Lord Goldemam, and Van Helsing. And the 4 of them, you always play with 5 people, are trying to track down Dracula and eliminate him. Of course, Dracula is laying traps along the way, converting people to vampires, etc., etc. You got a little map here. This is basically the board. And so Dracula picks a starting location, and it's hidden, so the 4 investigators don't know where he is. And, oh, the board is big and beautiful, and I don't know if I'm going to drag it out of there. But anyway, hidden movement game. Dracula's got lots at his disposal. The fighting is really cool. You're flipping cards, looking at symbols and stuff. It's a really neat system. So that's my number 48 game on my list. And that is, and I haven't done a playthrough of this, but pretty difficult to do it by myself. Anyway, number 48 game, Fury of Dracula. Alright, getting to number 47 on my list, and that would be Castle Panic. I really, really like this game. I have the Wizard's Tower expansion, which I highly recommend if you don't have it. So basically, you have a castle in the center of your board. I'll just show you half of it here. You got Forest, Archer, Knight, Swordsman. You're going to be playing cards and hitting the attackers at the different locations. So yes, I do have the Wizard's Tower. And so you have a whole bunch of tokens that go in the bag. And then, of course, you have cards. So you have special cards like Missing Johnny Monster tokens this turn. So Red Archer, of course, would do damage in the red ring at the Archer level, Blue Knights, etc., etc. Draw 2 cards. So a whole bunch of different abilities and things you can do. So you're basically trying, literally, to defend your castle. And, of course, all the monsters that come in the bag are the trolls and the goblins and on and on. And boulders can come flying in, and it's just quite crazy. There's a whole bunch of imps. I think that came with the Wizard's Tower expansion. And, of course, you have boss monsters, which are really, really, really hard to take out. And that's it. So you're defending your castle. If you can get through the entire bag of monsters without being destroyed, especially with the boss monster coming at the end, you'll win Castle Panic. Otherwise, you're going to get destroyed. So that's my number 47 game on my list, and that would be Castle Panic. Okay, number 46 on my list is a big box, but man, it's a lot of fun. Oh, and that is Defenders of the Realm. So you're basically playing one of the many different warrior types. So Larry Elmore art, really nice in the game as well. The board is very big. Let's see if we can have a... Oh my gosh. Yeah, you can see how big it is. So, it's a very colorful board with many different locations on it. And you're trying to defeat the evil, and the evil is trying to corrupt the land, and of course kill everything. And I have all the expansions. So you can play like a paladin. You can play the wizard. You can play... Oh, these are the enemies. Balzar, Gorgat, Varlock, Sapphire the Dragon, War Status. You can play a druid, you can play a dwarf. There's just so many. And yes, I blinged my game out with D&D minis to represent all of the different characters you can play in the game, because normally they just come kind of gray, but that's fine too. They're really nice. And the little miniatures are kind of cool. Nice little artwork, so you got green, red, blue, and black, depending on the different enemies you're fighting. And then you have hero cards. Of course, you're trying to go to locations, match cards, you have some special abilities. You basically try to take down, defeat all 4 of the big bosses. And if you can do that, you're going to defend the realm. Otherwise, they're going to overwhelm you and crush you, which happens quite often. So, yeah, that's my number 46 game. A huge kind of tower defense game where you're trying to defeat 4 major bosses before they can get right into the heart of the realm and destroy everything. That's my number 46, Defenders of the Realm. Alright, on to number 45 on my list. I've already done the 2nd edition of this. This is the 1st edition, which made it to 45, and that's Doom, the board game. And I've tried desperately to get the expansion to this, could never find it. Alright, Doom, the board game. I do actually really enjoy this one. I like it better than the other one. Doom 2nd edition has predetermined maps. Well, this kind of, I've done Knee Deep on the Dead in my on my channel. This is procedurally generated, so you just start out with the thing. When you open the door, then the person playing, the demon player, spawns what's in there, so you've got all kinds of... And the miniatures are really nice. And the tiles, a little bit generic, but you're putting a bunch of tokens and things on them. You've got a bunch of cards for Marine players, and you can play from 1 to 4, I believe. Up to 4 Marines, and so cards. So the demon player's got a whole bunch of cards, tells him what he can spawn, kind of how and where. It's a trap, ambush. So the demon player's a whole pile of cards to play against the Marines. And every time the demon player goes through their cards, then they get fragged. So you've got special ops, characters, ground assault, survival. These are the different things that your Marines can be. Very, very fun game. And I do love the hidden area sort of movement during the scenarios. So the players never know when they open the door, what they're stepping into. So very cool. So you can see here the different demon types in the game, all the different weapons and things you can get yourself as a Marine. That is my number 45. I think there's 6 or 7 scenarios that come in the game. Number 45 on my list, that is Doom 1st Edition. All right, making its way to number 44 on my list, and that is a game I've gotten recently, not that long ago, played it. I really like it, and that is Alien: Fate of the Nostromo, as I like to refer to it as Nemesis Light. So basically what you have is the Nostromo. If you know the first Alien movie, and there shows you everything that comes in there. You got your nice little miniatures, of course the alien, you got your Ripley, and you got Jonesy the cat. So basically the board itself is the Nostromo. It's different. Oh gosh. Yes, of course I have it upside down. So you have a morale track, and the idea is you're trying to keep your morale high. If you get all the way to the bottom of the morale, you lose. The ship is a really cool little board. You're moving around. You've got some mini objectives to complete, and then you have one main objective at the end, which you don't know what it is. So you have all these objective cards, and you have a main objective. So the idea, and you can go around, you're trying to craft some items, like flamethrowers, incinerators, that kind of thing. And yeah, and then you have your basic big objectives at the end. Tells you what it is, and how to complete it. And I don't know, the artwork in this game is fantastic. Like Ripley here, so you got a bunch of different characters. There's 5. You can play from 1 to 5 characters. And again, the miniatures are actually, you know, they're not super amazing, but they certainly fit the bill and do the job as to what they're supposed to be. So Ripley. All right, and yeah, so of course you have the alien figure who's running around the ship trying to kill everyone. Okay, so that's it. That's my number 44 on my list, and that would be Alien: Fate of the Nostromo. And number 43 on my list is Legendary Encounters: Firefly. Yes, everyone complained about the artwork. It doesn't bother me one bit. So, yes, it's basically a deck builder. What a shock. And what's cool about this one is, of course, you can play as your different characters, Mal and Zoe and Jane, etc., Wash. And you go, there's basically scenarios that you go through, starting from, what do we have here? These are the misbehaved ship upgrades. You can upgrade your ship. Your ship is part of the game, which is really cool. So you have Serenity of the Train Job, Shipwreck, Shindig. It basically goes through all the episodes of the 13 episodes as a show, and it's a progression. So you do like 3 episodes, then you do some upgrades in between, another 3 episodes, upgrades in between. I'm going to be doing all of them. I think I've done a couple already, playthroughs of this. It's a deck builder. I'm not going to pull the map out. It's really nice. You do have a picture of your ship. I don't think it shows it to you in here. Maybe it does, but I don't think so. Yes, it does right there. So that's what the map looks like. So you actually have your ship. It can take some damage. You don't want your ship to be completely damaged because then you will lose. So there you go. That is my number 43 on my list. Oh, and that will be Legendary Encounters: Firefly. Alright, making its way to 42 on my list. Boy, we're getting pretty high now. And that is, oh god, Defenders of the Last Stand. Yes, we had Defenders of the Realm earlier. I like this one slightly better. It's got a little bit more meat to it, things going on, post-apocalyptic. And here we go. Yes, there is an absolute mountain of stuff in here. It's basically tower defense. You're trying to defend the central location from the 4 big baddies. And the big baddies all have special abilities, of course. And they are trying to destroy the world. And you in it. On the board here, you can see some of the board. I'm not going to rip the board out of there because it's huge. So you're trying to defeat Bramble and Crank and Bomba and Puke. And if you do that, defeat them all before they destroy your central location, you'll win the game. There's a basic game, and then there's a couple of other modules that you could play, different things. I've done this a couple of times on my channel. I think there's 3 different scenarios. So not only do you have just your basic game to defend your central location, but there are 2 other scenarios. I think one's to build a super weapon, and the other one is to escape in the plane, which I haven't done yet. So that's my number 42 game, and that'll be Defenders of the Last Stand. And last on my list for this week, from 50 counting to 41, this is my number 41 game. Man, I really do enjoy this one. That is all I've got the expansion to. Conquest of Planet Earth. The gist of this game is you're playing an alien race. and you're trying to destroy Earth, because why wouldn't you? And of course, with the expansions and stuff, and of course the Flying Frog game, and there are just a ton of cards in it. So you get all kinds of special abilities as your alien race. You do have a resistance, which is the Earth resistance, and they are trying to do bad things to you as the aliens. Of course, they're trying to fight for their life. I know, I got some, everything's sleeved, everything in elastic bands, which I probably shouldn't do, but anyway, it's all sleeved, it's all good. What do we have in here? We have all kinds of aliens we can play. We can play the Vento Star Empire. You can also play Beetleman and all kinds of weird stuff. Venetian Matriarchy. So it's a kind of a tongue-in-cheek, goofy little alien invasion game. The gist of it is you're basically trying to destroy Earth. Earth is trying to defend itself. If Earth can build their super weapon and blow you out of the sky, well, then you're not going to win. And of course, you have all kinds of cool little alien ships that you put on the board to try and do it. You're tracking victory points. Of course, you're trying to win. So you can play, I think it's 1, 2, 4 players. I did this solo on my channel. It is so much fun. And yeah, so that is my number 41 on my list. And that is Conquest of Planet Earth. A really fun little defend the Earth game, but you're playing the aliens, which is cool. Well, that's it for my list for this week. Coming up next will be, of course, another playthrough series. And then after that, we're going to be counting down 40 to 31. We're getting closer to the top. I mean, we're already in the top 50 games. So these are games I really, really like. So thanks so much for watching along. Thanks for your comments, subscriptions, likes. This is my countdown for 2023. Next time we get into our countdown list, like I said, 40 to 31. Thanks for watching along, and we'll see you then.